So a few weeks back, I released a set of raw multi-tracks and I asked you to send me your mix of the song. In today's video, we're going over the top 5 mixes that I received. Let's jump into it. So before we jump into today's video, I just want to reach out and thank everyone who submitted a mix of the track. I've received dozens upon dozens of excellent mixes of this song. And the way I went about choosing the top 5 was pretty simple. It really came down to this. I was looking for mixes where people paid strict attention to detail and more specifically, the lead vocal. I received a lot of mixes where the music sounded great, but the vocal was kind of all over the place and you could tell it was sort of an afterthought. And that's not what I was looking for, because at the end of the day, the lead vocal is always, for this style of music, the most important element of any mix. If the listener can't understand the lead vocal, you don't got a mix. It also came down to who sent their mix the fastest. So those are the 2 things I was looking for most. Who sent their mix the quickest and who paid the closest attention to the small details within the song, especially the vocals. So the 5 winners I'm sharing in today's video all have instant access right now for absolutely free to my brand new course, Mixing from the Ground Up. Mixing from the Ground Up is an in-depth mixing course where you get to watch me mix an entire song in real time from mix prep all the way through to the final master. You get to see me pick every plugin setting, every fader move, how I set my gain staging, pick my EQ settings, everything. And the entire course was filmed live in my private community, so you also have access to the Q&As where people ask me excellent questions throughout the mixing process. The doors open today. There's a link below in this video's description, and enrollment ends this Friday at midnight. And I would just like to congratulate all 5 of these entries that I'm gonna be featuring in today's video. All 5 of you guys have instant access to the course. All of your login information is in your email. So without any further ado, let's jump into this group of mixes submitted by my loyal subscribers. And what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna play each of the 5 mixes, because remember, it's a mix of the same track, and I'm gonna display and point out to you what I felt were the strong points of each mix and maybe what the mixer can use to help improve the mix in the future or their future productions. So our first winner comes from Mr. Komita. Let's check out his mix of the song. Okay, so right off the bat, a few of the strong points here. Super punchy drum sound. The drums cut through the mix without any problems at all. And most importantly, I could hear the vocalist throughout the entire mix. Super clear, not being overpowering or too upfront. I could tell that Komita here paid a strict attention to detail when it came to either using automation or compression when dialing in the lead vocal. Now, an element that can use a little bit of improvement, in my opinion, is there's an overabundance of mid-range, meaning the mid-range on the bass is sort of conflicting, in my opinion, with the rhythm guitars. So the mix kind of sounds very mid-heavy, but overall, man, I mean, you could hear the vocals crystal clear, which is really the most important part, and everything sounds nice and in balance, and you could actually hear all of the individual elements. So I could tell he put a lot of work into this mix. At Komita, when you dive into mixing from the ground up, I think you're gonna find some of the techniques that I share very helpful when it comes to choosing the right EQ for each of the individual elements in your mix, so there's no overabundance of any specific frequency range. Thank you so much for your submission, and I can't wait to hear your future work. Okay, winner number 2 is Mr. Clay. Let's see what we got.
I want to say
Okay, Clay, excellent mix. Again, what I felt was really strong here was that the vocals were nice and consistent. And I know that was no easy task. These vocals were recorded with a handheld mic. I think it was an SM48. It was like a 58 knockoff. But you clearly went in there and paid strict attention to the lead vocal, and you could hear it in a crystal clear manner throughout the track. Now, it's being slightly buried by the mid-range of the bass, and the guitars are pretty loud, and the snare drum is loud. But if you simply go in there, maybe turn up your overheads a little to help add brightness to the track, bring down the snare drum slightly, bring down the rhythm guitar slightly, keep the bass where it's at, but turn down the mid-range, the vocal will be sitting at a perfect level. But overall, again, the vocal is nice and consistent, and you can hear all of the elements in the mix really well. So Clay, excellent submission, and I cannot wait to hear your future mixes. All right, our next mix here comes from Royer. Okay, what I love about this is the personality that Royer has injected into the track. If you notice when the song kicks off, he took the time to automate a filter to slowly let the high frequencies back in on the rhythm guitars. Again, it's that attention to detail that I'm really looking for. And most importantly, much like with the other two mixes, the vocals are nice and consistent. And in this case, they have a nice ambience around them. So this mix is really unique in that it has its own character and vibe. And again, I really like that he took the time to pay attention to these fine details where they matter most. Because with this kind of music, the vocals, again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, are the most important element. And a lot of home studio folk, especially if you're a guitar player or a drummer, that's all we care about, are guitars and drums. But the average listener, what they're really listening to are the vocals. I know it hurts as a guitar player to admit that most listeners don't care about guitar, but it's kind of true. So Royer, excellent submission. I can't wait to hear your future work, and I'll see you inside mixing from the ground up. All right, our next mix here comes from Mr. Mark. Well, Mark, excellent mix. I really like how consistent the vocals sound, and I like that you've added extra dynamics into the intro of the track, much like with the last mix, except with your mix, the guitars are nice and small in the intro, and then you let the mix be huge when the song kicked in. Now, a few things that I think can use improvement are the actual levels overall. Super loud snare drum here. The snare doesn't have to be that loud, and I think the kick as well. Let's take a listen. Mainly the snare drum, but the kick is a little loud as well, which can work, but it can become very distracting during the busier sections and where there's more fast kick drum patterns happening within the production or within the song. But overall, excellent submission. Again, I can tell you put a lot of work into this, and I can't wait to hear what else you have to offer as a mixer. Okay, and our final winner here is Mr. Nacio. Let's check out the mix. listen to the whole thing. But yeah, man, love the mix. I really, again, love how consistent the vocals are. Crystal clear. I could tell you put a lot of work into this mix in general. I really dig the snare sound. The only negative is that the drums are just really overpowering. So you might want to look into clipping your drum bus or maybe using a tape saturator just to tame transient information on your drums. And that's the thing here. This song was recorded through cheap budget equipment out of my project studio. And we have to remember when we're recording with interfaces, the sound is 100% clean. You're gonna have to apply some form of tape saturation or saturation in general within the box to help soften up the mix and make it sound more analog and more professional. But overall, I love what I hear. And I just again wanna congratulate all 5 of these entries. You guys did a killer job and you were the first 5 that I received where vocals were the main focus and where I could tell you spent a lot of time on the finer details within the mix. Now, I received a bunch of other ones that were just as good, but again, they just trickled in a little later, and these were the first 5. And for anyone else who's watching who's interested in the course where you get to witness me mix an entire song from absolute scratch all the way through to the final master, there's a link below where you can learn more about mixing from the ground up. Enrollment ends this Friday at midnight. And also, if you're interested in downloading the multitracks of this song, there's a link below in this video's description where you can download the exact same raw multitracks that everyone else got to mix when entering this contest. And guys, let me know, did you enjoy this? Would you like for me to do more of these contests in the future? Let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you found this video helpful, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And do not forget to click the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I upload one of weekly videos on all things Metal and Rock production. If you're interested in some Frightbox swag, we've got t-shirts, mugs, and a ton of other cool stuff on the way. There's a link below to the Frightbox merch store in this video's description. And until next time, happy mixing.